This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
I'm not going to sugarcoat it, Tom. I'm exhausted. I'm run down.
Oh, I thought you were perhaps referencing a song by tonight's featured guest. Not featured guest, topic.
Yeah, he's not on the show.
No. It could be. You'll have to stay tuned to the end to find out.
What would I have been?
Exhausted.
Yeah.
And the closer off the Foo Fighters' first album.
The best album in the Foo Fighters repertoire.
I don't
want to get there.
We can't get into it right
I don't want to get there, and this is not what this episode is about.
I don't disagree with you.
You know, there are more songs I'd cut from The Color and the Shape than there are on the Foo Fighters' debut album.
Yeah.
To make a tight album.
Yes. Which, he didn't know if it was going to amount to much. But I guess we're jumping right into... Oh, you said you were tired. No, we're not jumping right in. Tell me about your...
No, that's okay. I just wanted to give you fair warning. I might fall asleep if you drone on about something.
I'm not going to be droning on about anything, Tim.
Or, conversely, I might just get real riled up real easily because I'm just in a foul mood.
Oh, I see.
I'm not really in a foul mood, but when you're
tired you get cranky like a little baby.
Yeah. You poke the bear, see what happens.
Yeah. Poke the baby.
Yeah. Babies are cranky.
Yeah, especially if you poke one of them, like when they're tired or falling asleep or maybe even already asleep.
You know what stinks? And I don't understand this.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how this works. When a toddler or little kid gets overtired, let's go to sleep.
Oh, when they get overtired to the point where then they can't go to sleep?
Well, they just become it's like, they get all this energy. And it's like biologically, all these people are always trying to tell me we evolved from whatever, and this is the reason why.
Oh, boy, Tim's going on his anti-science.
No, I believe all of it, but it's just like, you know why you like soda? Because our brains are wired for a Neanderthal was looking at a lizard and and it's like, okay, cool.
Do you
whatever.
think that's what lizard brain means?
Yes, I do. But why did we evolve to when you're little and you should go to sleep? It makes
sometimes
you rambunctious.
If you get too tired, then
Shouldn't it be that's when the body makes you go to sleep?
Nah,
so you get the rest
maybe
that you
it's
need.
maybe we evolved because the body got that way. Because when you used to be tired, it was because a tiger was chasing you or something. So it's let's keep a little reserve tank.
The fact that you're doing this off the dome makes me feel like science is fake. I don't believe science.
I
anymore.
should be clear, Tim. I'm pretty.
In
I thought
this podcast, we believe science, Tom.
No, you said you don't believe science.
Right. I'm tired.
I was going to try and explain to you what I thought you already knew, which is I'm not actually a scientist. A little bit of an amateur scientist.
Why are you wearing that white lab coat?
What
are all these beakers and Bunsen burners all about?
Sure, I have my experiments, Tim, but consider myself more of an artist than a science. My chimeras that I make here in the... I have a real Dr. Monroe situation happening here.
The island of Dr. Monroe.
Okay, well, I'll keep that in mind that you're tired.
Yeah,
and I'll try not
to... I'll get overtired.
I'll try
and
to...
then you'll hit the lottery because I'll be a barrel of fun.
Tim, this week we're talking about a guy named Dave Grohl.
A man who's in the news.
He's in the news!
And, it seems like he was in the nude at some point.
I mean, at least a part of him was, I'll tell you that much. Part of him had nothing on at all.
Right.
Presumably. I mean, you hear stories sometimes about crazy things happening.
What do you mean?
Pregnancies happening out of...
like in the Bible?
The Bible, but I don't know. Is that just something they told us when we were teenagers to scare us?
What, that sometimes
even just having a boner is enough?
To get a girl pregnant?
Yeah, even if it's nowhere near her.
Who told you this stuff?
The health teacher.
Yeah, those health teachers. The health teachers in our high school,
They were
a rough bunch.
Bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
It was like, you guys couldn't even get the, like, good coaches to do this class.
Yeah, it's like, why are you employing this guy? Like, oh, he's got to be the health teacher so he could be the second assistant coach of the JV football team too.
Yeah. This is his like side gig. Is
Teaching health class,
Yeah.
making sure that and also like health. They always say like, oh, they should teach personal finance in high school. They should also like actually teach you health.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They should make it not boring and just kind of explain how things work. It should be, human body 101. Hey, you kids, you're either going through or you've gone through puberty. Yeah, a new hot rod on your hands. You don't know how to handle it.
Well, that's a cool way of thinking about it. Yeah,
Tim, I should pitch this as like a new health program.
We're talking about Dave Grohl.
I was gonna say, I remember. I think it was maybe in college or right after college. Friend of the show, Dan, pitching that like a bunch of us should come up with some kind of like traveling school circuit. I think he found out how much like some people get paid to do school assemblies.
Yeah, they bring in speakers
Yes.
to high school
to tell kids not to do drugs, but they get like cool people to do it.
Right.
Or gimmicky things.
They got a rock band called Chalice to come to our high school.
To show us that you can rock without being drug addicts.
You know what? That was pretty cool. They had several screens set up,
Yeah.
like video screens.
I mean,
Chalice had a good setup. It wouldn't fly today because it was overtly religious.
Yes. Yeah, it was like obvious even as a teenager of like, I think this is like a Christian thing. Why are we seeing this at public school?
But it was also in the age where like Christian bands, like legit Christian rock bands were like hiding the fact that they were Christian rock
the age
bands.
of Creed, Tim.
Yeah, to get on the top 40. And hey, it worked.
Yeah, they were like, ha ha ha, you fools. You thought all those songs were about a hot woman, but they were actually about Jesus.
The Lord and Savior, Jesus
That's
Christ.
who I can't get enough of that I'm so hot for in my songs.
Were those the lyrics?
Yeah.
About being hot.
You got
for what
me
we
so
thought was
hot. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should go back to getting into that circuit.
Well, maybe Dave Grohl would have stayed out of trouble if the Foo Fighters were a secret Christian band.
Maybe.
Because everybody knows that Christians never cheat on their spouses.
Tim. I mean,
that has never happened.
Then they wouldn't be Christians. I do remember. Do you remember? I don't think this was Chalice. This is a different guy who was like a drummer, and they did the 3 screens thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, that might have been what I was thinking.
Yeah, and he gave like a bunch of speeches and stuff, and then he would like go and wail on the drums for a bit while like the screens did crazy stuff. It was like this is pretty cool. All right, I'd rather watch this than be in class right now for sure. And then he would stop drumming and he like came up to Mike and he was like, so I met Kurt Cobain once at a party. And it was like a fucking hush fell over the auditorium. Like, we have to give this man respect now.
And what was his Kurt Cobain story?
His Kurt Cobain story was that he saw him at a party and he was like, hey man, you got to stop doing heroin. You're too good for that. And he told me like, I wish I could, man. And that was it. I wish I had gotten through to him that day. And it was like, none of this is true. This is absolutely, this guy just knows that this like auditorium full of 15-year-olds do not have the resources available to fact check this story in any way.
Pretty cool. Hung out with Kurt Cobain from what I understand.
Yeah. I was like, oh, were you at this party just being a fucking downer to everybody? Like, I can't imagine a party where this guy and Kurt Cobain were both there.
Yeah.
Unless like Kurt Cobain walked in and was like, oh, wrong room.
Well, this room is full of hangers-on.
Yeah. This room's full of a bunch of rockers who just do school assemblies.
Hey, I think Dan's right. We should have like figured that out.
Yeah. But yeah,
just getting ruthlessly mocked by high schoolers every day, though.
I don't know.
I don't know. We heckled those.
Yeah, I think I forgot how like specific teenagers can be. So I was like, I get. They'll yell loser or whatever. It's like, nah, they'll find that like deep insecurity you have.
Yeah.
Like,
and we're not cool, right? There's a million ways a teenager could wreck us right
now.
now.
Yeah. I'm imagining the music being so loud that we can't hear it.
Yeah, that's the key. You keep the music deafeningly
just all
loud.
the time. It's so loud that, heckle away.
Yeah.
Boys. It's not getting through to me.
Girls, too. The girls are heckling these days,
yeah,
too.
mean girls. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they get in there with the, you're wearing that?
Right.
And boy, all of a sudden you're on stage having a breakdown.
We're talking about the Foo Fighters frontman, former Nirvana drummer, former drummer of Scream, former drummer of
Can you name all?
Dane Bramage.
Dane Bramage.
Which, that wasn't a real band. That was
it was like his high school, yeah.
Occasional drummer for Queens of the Stone Age.
Yes.
Appeared on Tenacious D records playing the drums.
Mm-hmm. I think played all the drums on the first album. Maybe not. Maybe not all the drums.
Not the first album.
The Tenacious D album.
Oh, I thought we were still talking about Queens of the Stone Age.
I thought you were talking about Nirvana.
Also played drums on one Killing Joke album.
Yes, they're self-titled.
As well as Probot.
Yes.
Let's not forget.
Probot.
Playing all the instruments on Probot except for the vocals.
I think some people might have contributed, maybe the instrument they're known for to some of those tracks.
Drummer for Them Crooked Vultures.
Yeah, he got it. That's maybe the hardest one to remember.
Am I missing anything? And Dream Widow doesn't count. That's just the Foo Fighters.
Yeah. I believe you missed Scream.
You
said Scream.
Yeah.
You missed then Freak Baby.
Oh, I didn't even know about Freak Baby.
He played guitar in that band in high school in 1985.
Okay.
And then Mission Impossible, which was the
Tom. That's you're thinking of Tom Cruise,
which was when he switched to playing drums, and that was 85 to 86, according to my research.
Okay, yeah. So the guy from Nirvana and the Foo Fighters.
Yeah, basically.
And now the tabloids and the front page of NewYorkTimes.com.
Oh, was it the front page? Wow, today?
Well, it was not on the newspaper of the website,
right. But the main story?
No, it was on the side, but it was in the top 5.
Do they have a picture of him?
It was a story about how his statement that made news this week.
Yeah.
Was well done, and a bunch of crisis PR people were praising the way that it was announced.
Huh. So
Dave Grohl hit the news this week. You want to?
Oh yeah. But for anybody that's missed it, he hit the news because he posted on his Instagram that he has become a father. I believe he put it that he has become a father outside of his marriage.
Right.
Yeah, so he knocks somebody up, and it ain't the lady he's married to.
Right.
And
you're very judgmental in these cases. You are just I see he's using the passive voice here.
I found the statement fascinating. I mean, for the same reason that you're talking about these crisis PR people.
Yeah.
Just because it's boy, this the probably the budget of the first Apollo mission has gone into crafting this Instagram post.
Part of it, though, I think, is make it boring.
Yes.
The other thing that they were praising.
Don't make it juicy. Don't make it salacious. Don't have people go, ooh, tell me more.
Yeah. Be contrite.
Yes.
She was.
Mm-hmm.
You get out ahead of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's speculation. Did somebody know something that he was trying to get ahead of?
Yeah.
Or the timing of it being mere hours before the presidential debate,
and
which
classic news dump.
yeah, which
You
they
know
knew
this is
like
going to get buried now.
exactly.
Yeah.
But Tom, can I say something?
Tim, it's half your podcast.
All
Feel
right.
free.
Oh, you always remind me that
you know what?
it's only 33%.
Well, you know what, Tim, honestly.
Well, why do we split the money 2/3, 1/3
And honestly,
in your favor?
you know, I'm sick of having to edit out you asking for permission every time you speak every week. It's thousands of cuts.
I'm surprised anybody cares.
Yeah, okay.
Like, is he like? Here's the thing about the Foo Fighters, Tom, and you know, go listeners of this show.
Yeah, go give them a listen.
No, but like,
hey, make your own opinion.
We did an episode,
mm-hmm.
and we really geeked out about the Foo Fighters. And what I learned from that is like nobody actually likes the Foo Fighters. The Foo Fighters have 8 singles that like are generally beloved over the last 30 years that they've been a band.
Yeah.
And then the rest, like, nobody knows deep cuts. Nobody cares.
People they didn't want to hear the Foo Fighters like in detail that the kind of details that we care about. It's a confusing situation for everybody involved, Tim, especially us.
Tom Dave Grohl.
Yes. We mentioned he's in the news. You were saying that you're surprised at the reaction, at how big of a reaction it is.
Yeah. I'm surprised that like this is. I mean, I guess he has the reputation as the nicest guy in rock
I think
and roll.
that's purely what it is.
But
that it's not people aren't like me and you. Me and you like kind of don't give a shit because it has nothing to do with like his band or music or anything. But I think a lot of people, like you were talking about, don't really care about the intricacies of Foo Fighters and just know a few songs. And they're like, oh, yeah, the guy that's in every music documentary.
Yeah.
He always seemed really nice. He's funny. He's affable.
Yeah. But I think what people like, do people not understand that all famous people are bad?
I think people are stupid. Yeah. I think people don't. I think people want.
Like, it's fine. Like, flawed.
Yeah. It doesn't make him a bad person. Makes him a bad husband.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, it's.
But like, I don't know. That's none of my business. Some of my best friends are bad husbands.
Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of like, oh shit. Well, that sounds. Boy, I wouldn't want to be him right now. But that's about all my.
Yeah, like I hope his wife's
oh
okay.
yeah,
like,
absolutely, and his kids. Like it's a shit situation all around.
But also, like, I don't know, millions and millions of dollars and never having to worry about any like real world concern ever in your whole life again. It's like, okay.
Oh yeah, and like having a kid outside of wedlock. Yeah, sure, nobody wants that to happen, but like in the grand scheme of things, it's not the worst thing. It's not somebody's not dead. It's not like a genocide.
On the contrary, someone new is alive.
Exactly. It's a +1.
Yeah.
Everybody should be happy.
Yeah, well, come on, everybody. You sour pusses.
The one thing, and this is, I think this is, no, I was going to say.
This is a low bar that we're judging famous people. You were like, this isn't genocide, so we should celebrate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I think, the potential other shoe that hasn't dropped is who this person is.
Who cares?
Well, listen, not so much who they are, how old are they? Because he's 55.
Right.
So she is not 55, probably.
Right.
Now, is she in her 30s?
See, now this is where
or is she 19? If it's a 19-year-old that
Sure, you're inventing scenarios.
Tim, what if Will Smith had slapped Betty White that hard? He would have killed her.
Would have killed her.
At least put her in the hospital.
Yeah, that's why they should send Will Smith to jail.
Man, we're trying to keep out of the deep Foo Fighters lore, but getting into the deep Will Smith slap lore. You don't know about Judd Apatow's tweet immediately after the event? Anyway, what were we saying? What angle were we coming at?
Your thing was like, oh no, what if he
Oh, I'm just saying if
yeah, okay, but like
it's gonna make it worse.
Yeah, it's gonna make it worse. Look, you gotta understand, this guy is a rock and roll star.
What if it's a family member that he got pregnant? It's incest.
Like, how many kids out of wedlock has to be like an antiquated term, right? Like, because you don't need like.
Well, he didn't use it. He said outside of his marriage.
No, but that's what you said.
Yeah.
But like, how many children outside of his marriage did Mick Jagger father?
Yeah,
probably a bunch, and everybody's like, wow, this lithe old man can still slink around the stage.
Yeah, but I think there's a difference in that Mick Jagger has built his brand to be,
right.
I'm a bloody rock star, and Dave Grohl's built his brand around like, I'm rock and roll's nice guy.
Right.
And sometimes he's too nice. Sometimes he puts his penis places he shouldn't because he's so nice.
You think of as he was being polite?
I think the person that had it happening to them wanted it, probably.
Okay, Tom. All right.
Well, not wanted it, asked for it. Said, yeah, let's do it. I'm in.
Okay.
And he said, I'm a nice guy. All right.
Tom, I just wanted to talk about
for my
them
fans.
Crooked vultures.
No, but I'm just saying that's the other shoe that hasn't dropped is like, if this is somebody young, if this is like, oh, he was having an affair with this person for years.
In a perfect world, do you want that information to drop ever?
As long as it's like nothing illegal, no. I think that it's nobody's business. Like, it's for his family to deal with it. I do not envy that woman for being, the woman that just had the baby, presumably. We don't know actually like when all this happened either.
Yeah.
But I don't envy her for the position she's in, like where, a million people are trying to
little baby and millions of dollars to raise it with.
Yeah, but like, come on, you don't want, and also the guy who fathered your baby, like, yeah, he's giving you that money, but he's probably like, yeah, I want to save my marriage, so I'm not ever going to be around.
Who knows? You don't know this situation.
And at the same time, like, probably thousands of people are actively trying to find out this woman's name.
Well, you're not helping.
How am I not helping? I'm not giving out any information.
Speculating. You're
I'm just saying what
champing at the bit over here. I'm just saying, everybody, just chill out. He's a rock star. It's gonna happen, and like, you don't have to hound anybody about it. Everybody, be cool. Famous people are bad. They're gonna do bad things. They're not like you and me.
Yeah,
they're not. They Tom, a man who lives their life the way I do or you do. Every single famous person is disgusted by us.
Yeah. They think we're the disgusting ones.
So it's okay. But everybody just live and let live.
What do? Only make love to your spouse?
It just stinks that, like, something like this happens and you have to be like, okay, now this is a PR thing. Like that, that access to celebrities should be reduced by 85%.
You think it should be like the good old days where reporters didn't put out stories about big Hollywood stars? Because somebody like held them over a balcony.
Not because they held them over a balcony, but because they they prized access and the parties and the drugs that came along with it. So they only wrote puff pieces.
Oh, it's true, yeah. I am curious too.
That'd be pretty cool.
If this came out now because they're
gossip hound,
because there is like somebody's working on a story.
Yeah, probably.
And maybe this baby happened years ago, but somebody dug it up and now it's going to become public. It doesn't sound like that. It sounds like it was recent, right?
Yeah, I think he might have. I think he might have even said
I recently. Yeah.
But Tom, my thing is, who cares? Everybody calm down and leave everybody alone.
Yeah.
And while you're
also,
at it, leave Britney. Hey, did you know that the leave Britney alone guy was actually right?
He was right. He's been redeemed.
If I was working in crisis PR, what I would do now for Britney Spears,
I'd
be like, all right, now you gotta like stop for a minute.
What do you mean?
I feel like I always see like weird videos of her.
Oh, is she still doing the weird videos?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay.
And if those are reaching me, a guy who is not the audience for those weird videos.
I used to follow her, and I think I unfollowed her because
I don't follow her.
I had like pulled up too many weird, like open Instagram, and that was the first thing that it was like, oh, it's Britney Spears in a bikini writhing around. All right.
Yeah, no, he did use the word recently.
Yes. Okay. I had another question about I was just going to mention also the once a cheater, always a cheater. He's cheated a lot in his past.
Right.
I was going through some, and I counted at least 3 like publicly known cheating episodes.
Right. But I mean, whose business is that?
Again, I'm just saying. But I think maybe that's where the disconnect is, that like people like me and you are like, oh yeah, he's a cheater. But like everybody else thought, oh no, that's probably his high school sweetheart he's married to, and he's never had eyes for another woman.
Right.
I was reading about did I even put this in my notes? It's not even worth it. But it was just something about like, oh, he said he wrote these songs about her, and they were like 2 of the worst songs from.
Oh, I did. Like one of them
albums.
was like "Burn Away" or something.
Yeah, and "Statues" I think was the other one, which I couldn't even tell you how that one went.
It has a piano on it. I think it was one of the first Foo Fighters songs where it's like, I have a sensitive side.
Yeah, it was probably the song you had to write after cheating on her the last time.
All right, Tom. You're so judgmental about all this stuff.
I think. Well, I'm sorry. I think it's a shitty thing to do.
I know, but also like these people aren't human beings.
They aren't?
No.
Oh, they're the lizard people thing again.
No, what I'm saying is like all this like Hollywood or like big rock stars and stuff, their lives look so incredibly where it's just like, all right, honey, like I'm gonna go, I'll see you in 9 months because I'm going on a world tour, like playing in front of stadiums of adoring fans.
Night 1 of the tour. Hurry up, we gotta have sex because you gotta have that baby before the tour is over. I have to go back to my wife.
Exactly. I want to meet the baby.
Why are all these tours exactly 9 months and 1 night?
You know what I mean? Like, you can't be like,
no. Well, I was gonna say
all these people are sick, and it's fine. Let these sick people have their privacy.
I was gonna go the other way of like, they're just people. They're not gods. He's not the nicest man who's ever lived.
Yeah.
This kind of shit. Getting somebody that you're not married to pregnant happens hundreds, thousands of times a day. Like, it's not,
when
it's not just something that rich people do.
This is the thing, like when they're like billionaires aren't smart, they're just like their billions are built on the exploitation of it, right? Like I think
that's why there's like no ethical billionaire.
Right.
You took that money from people.
Right. I will say this about massively famous people.
Mm-hmm.
All of them are ruthless. Nobody falls off the turnip truck and's like, I'm just falling my way all the way up to fifth most famous person in the world without being goddamn ruthless.
Oh yeah.
And two-faced. And it's just like, yeah. So, like, if you think any of these people are nice, maybe they're nice in a way that, like, everyone who meets Tom Cruise is like, oh, wow. Yeah. But, like, there are literal bodies buried.
Yeah. But they realize, like, I can never have a bad story get out about me.
And also, like, the way, like, you get to this level is by, like,
by doing
beating
that. Yeah.
out other people who are also trying to get to that level.
Well, and I think also like somebody like a Tom Cruise or a even a Tom Hanks or a Dave Grohl.
Tom Hanks is the exception.
Have also been around for so long at this point that it's like they've met enough people that it's like percolated out there, the idea that like, oh, they're nice guys, they're good people, and that happened because like, oh, they made a point to like have every interaction be a positive one, as you know, as best they can. It's not just
also
like,
you can be a nice man and
do bad things.
Yeah. And be unfaithful to your wife.
Wow. Well, it sounds like somebody's over here making excuses.
For Dave Grohl.
For Dave Grohl, not for yourself, of course.
I will say one other thing. The algorithm recently, I think on YouTube, served me up a full live set of Veruca Salt from 1996 or 1997. And I was like,
I want to say 97 because Everlong's about her, and I think their album came out around the same time. Louis Post.
They had a couple albums.
No, but I'm saying but I thought you were going to say something about the album that she wrote post him cheating on her with Winona Ryder.
Oh, I don't know the lore. I just know that they dated because
it's a good album. I forget what it's called, but I like that album.
It's not the one that has like Seether on it. 8 Arms to Hold You.
No, it was whatever came out in like 97 or 98, probably.
Right. Yeah. No. This was from earlier, and I was just like, man, Veruca Salt was a good band.
Yeah. Until Dave Grohl came along.
No, you said that inspired their.
I like the album, but I don't
American
know.
Thighs. That was that album.
Oh,
that was a good album.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wanted to say.
Yeah. I can't, because so many of the lyrics are like just very obvious what it's about. Like there's a line about her seeing him holding hands with Winona Ryder in a tabloid, and that's how she found out that. It sounds like also, again, due to my research, he had a very big tendency to like ghost people.
Yeah, because you're a rock star.
Yeah, it's easy. They
Tom,
let you do it.
If you were, how old was he when he joined Nirvana?
Wow, like 20, right?
Yeah.
19, 20?
There's a story in one of those, probably Heavier Than Heaven or whatever, about a book about Nirvana or Kurt Cobain, where like...
Boy, you'd think it'd be about God. Or the devil, heavier than heaven.
Heavier. He fell right out of heaven.
Yeah.
That like Dave Grohl like was so rich in those days and so young
in the Nirvana days. Yeah.
That he was like, he went to buy a house and like they were trying to explain to him the concept of a mortgage, and he was just like, wait, what? Why? No. I will just give you. I can just go to the bank right now. I'll take it all out in cash right now. I can buy this in cash. And they're like, oh yeah, people don't like do that here. Because he was like buying a fairly modest home or whatever.
Right.
But it's just like, all right, so you're that young. You're just immediately in the biggest band in the world.
The beginning of him making, like every year since, he's made more money than the year before.
Yeah, and you're all of a sudden in the biggest band in the world.
Yeah.
You're young, you're super rich, and it's just like, yeah, how are you gonna be like a good guy and not ghost people?
Yeah, I mean, I get it early on.
That's the shittiest time in your life, and you are then like putting the most external factors that make you even shittier.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I never called you to break up. Every night, 50 women have begged me to sleep with them, and I've been
even
distracted.
If it's not even that, it's just like I just like followed whatever whim I wanted, and like nobody ever tells me no, so it's just like, I know I was supposed to call you, but like I wanted to go out to dinner to a real fancy restaurant, so I did that.
Yeah. Well, there he is again, defending Dave Grohl.
For not calling a lady.
Yeah,
Sure.
unbelievable, Tim. It's uncouth to not call a lady to break up with her.
Speaking of Winona Ryder, Tom,
Mm-hmm.
I think she's good.
Okay. Was
I've been
somebody out
hearing
there
on a lot
saying
of
no?
podcasts.
Oh.
Everybody's saying she's a real bad actress. And
Oh,
like as
really?
if it's like well known that like
Yeah.
she's a crappy actress. And it's like I guess it is if like 5 different people have been like, well, as we all know, she's a crappy actress on like 5, but I don't know.
Yeah, I've never.
Good.
I mean,
can't tell if an actor is good or bad.
I don't think she's like the most versatile actor.
Yeah,
But I don't know. Everything I've seen her in, I mean, I've never been fooled that I'm not watching Winona Ryder, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I'm always
that's-
aware
but
I'm watching a
that's-
movie when I'm watching a movie.
she's that type of, she's up there, not up there, but like, like a Tom Cruise or a Tom Hanks or whatever. I keep bringing these guys back up.
I know.
But like, they never disappear.
Tom's always got Toms on the brain.
They never disappear into a role.
Right.
It's like, nah, that person's just kind of like a generally fun person to watch.
Well,
and
that's
they
the
mostly
purpose
play
of a movie
themselves.
star. And
Yeah.
it's like a movie star is not necessarily an actor. It's someone with charisma that
Yeah,
people
that you can
has
just
a screen
plug
presence.
into.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a guy who's like, I think I mentioned on the show, I've been watching this Bad Monkey show with Vince Vaughn. And it's like, yeah, Vince Vaughn can do like one character.
Yeah.
And it's a version of
Yeah,
him.
he's the guy from Swingers.
That's probably like a little less shitty than he is in real life. And, but, he's made a career out of it.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about that too is when you're that kind of actor, then if occasionally you do another role that's a little outside and you're good at it, people are like, "Oh my God, look at this person! Look at them acting like somebody who's not themselves."
I realized, so I was a big Nirvana fan. I bought the first Foo Fighters album because I was also a drummer, so I learned all the drum parts. So as a teenager, so I bought the first Foo Fighters
hair
album,
like Cousin It.
Yeah, exactly. I bought it on day one, right? So I was like a fan. I was like, I'm rooting for this guy,
Right.
and like.
And in the people that were paying attention to this stuff, it was like a known like, oh, the drummer from Nirvana is coming out with an album.
And it was cool. That first album was really good.
Yeah.
The second album was really good. And like we would go see them and like and you watch videos from the 90s or like interviews from the 90s and stuff.
Yeah.
Broy, like he's always chewing gum, he's burping into the mic and stuff. And it's just like and then something flipped at some point. And you realized he was like, oh, I need to have a narrative in my career and my life. And like, then he morphed into the nicest. Like, you watch like an interview with him from like 1999 or 2000. He's not like trying to be the nicest guy.
No, he's like trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to be a funny guy, but he's not necessarily trying to make everybody in the room love him. He's not being like a politician, which is,
exactly.
I think,
He turned into a politician. And then like when when Nirvana was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and then they went and played at St. Vitus, R.I.P. Like the small venue,
very
club.
small venue for a fucking Nirvana reunion. That's like has that really even happened before? Where they've played Nirvana songs together?
No,
they
him, played
Pat Smear,
that one
and Chris
bad
Novoselic
song with Paul McCartney, like "Get Off My Back" or whatever.
Oh yeah. No, but I'm saying like the three of them, not Kurt Cobain, but Pat Smear being the third, like play a live show, play Nirvana songs.
No,
I think that was the first and only time.
Yeah,
right?
I mean they played it at the Barclays Center, and then they drove up to Greenpoint, and did it there. But what somebody said is like they came in earlier. They had a whole crew, wired the whole place with like tons of video cameras.
Yeah, that they knew like we're gonna capture this,
right? And I forget who it was. It was like somebody. There's like, oh yeah, this is what Dave does. He captures everything. Right. And it's like, oh, he's like ensuring his legacy,
yeah.
right? Like this isn't like, hey, and then we'll just go up to this this metal bar up in Greenpoint and we'll thrash it out. It's like it was a very, very calculated move.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like and
probably not even a plan for when and where they're going to use that.
No.
But like one day we're going to want to put this out.
Yeah. But he's just like, once you realize like all the like, I'm just a punk rock guy. It's like, no, that's all a and like, that's when I realized, oh, everything he's done has been a calculation, which is like fine. That's right. That's how you get to where you are. But then also like the aw shucks of it, where it's like, before they played Everlong, he said, we never say goodbye. We do this instead. Like, and like people, it always when people go see like big arena shows, it baffles me that people like don't understand that like, he said all this same stuff. This is 100% scripted. Yeah.
It's a touring
and it's like
show.
Fine, like that's how you do an entertaining show,
right?
But like, yeah, I think too many people bought into the like, he's just like, and it's like, no, that's a very, very managed persona, which is cool, like, which is what you need.
And I'm sure, it is not made up out of whole cloth. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of him that is that guy.
Yeah.
It just like, I mean, I would say to a lesser extent, like, that's what our personalities on this show are. Like, we're not both like this 24 hours a day.
I'm real time.
But whenever the fans come up to me, Tim, I turn it on. I razzle them. I dazzle them. I mean, it happens dozens of times a day, but I still do it.
And now you're accosted all the time.
Because I can't have it get out there that I'm not a nice guy.
I don't go outside because I don't want to.
You don't want to be bothered with it all. Yeah, well, that's the other way to play it.
Yeah.
I learned recently. I'm not super shocked. I mean, I don't think anyone's expecting me to be shocked about him recording all that stuff. Have you seen? There's a documentary either out or coming out about Trey Parker and Matt Stone buying that. Denver, was it Casa de something?
Yeah.
Like very kitschy.
They did a South Park episode about it.
Yes, they did like a big South Park episode because it was a thing from like their childhoods. It's this, they do like, it's a big Mexican restaurant, but they have like
Casa Bonita.
They have cliff diving in the restaurant and stuff. I remember as a kid seeing maybe like commercials for it.
I didn't know. I thought it was made up.
I think I saw commercials that were like, "Come to Denver and eat at this restaurant." But anyway, I was reading a thing about that, and it does sound interesting. They bought it, refurbished the whole thing. There's a documentary about that. That documentary is from just their in-house documentarian that did the 6 Days to Air documentary. And then I think there was like another documentary about something they were involved in.
It's important work that they do.
But basically it's like, we at a certain point, it just makes sense. Yeah, this guy's on salary. He doesn't necessarily come here every day and just record endless footage, but like they travel with us. If we have, I don't know, something unique happening, they come in and record. Like, at a certain point, it makes sense to spend a few $100,000, maybe even $1 million a year just to capture that stuff so you have it.
Those boys, we need to know what Trey Parker and Matt Stone are up to.
No, it's not that we need to know, but I think
they
it's
know
just
that they could exploit it.
Yeah, I think for them, and they probably would say this, like this cost them a fortune, and they're trying to like recoup some of that cost. But like also, it's like, hey, I think I did read a review that they were like, it is an entertaining, interesting documentary to watch. So it makes sense to me. I get it.
You love those guys.
I don't love those. I think they do interesting things time to time. And I think that's one of those things of like, hey, we're like, we couldn't spend our money in 10 lifetimes at this point. So like, we're going to employ a small team that just records us all the time.
It's cool. I mean, you could give it to charity.
Tim,
Why are they not giving it to charity?
Tim, you don't know what the charity's going to do with it.
Yeah, and they'd be like, "Oh, charity is a scam."
Right.
It's dumb to care about stuff.
What else do we need to cover about Dave Grohl, Tim?
Well, there's the other thing.
Uh-huh.
Like, the Foo Fighters of the late 90s.
Yeah.
Era nicest guy in rock. Like, he wanted to build the band the way that he did. He, like, ruthlessly, fired members.
Yeah. Pretty ruthlessly fired the first drummer, the third guitarist, or second replacement guitarist, first replacement guitarist.
Yeah.
Franz Stahl, who is apparently like a friend of his. Yeah, I mean, he ran this shit like a business from day one, for sure.
It's just like, everybody's like, he's just a guy that writes these songs. It's like, no, he's a businessman. And that's cool. That's cool.
Now, do you think, I think he had, in at least those first, 3 Foo Fighters albums, especially the first 2, maybe even especially the second one, just like a real, I am not going to be basically who Chris Novoselic is now, of I'm the guy who is in that big band and that's it. I'm not going to have my
I don't think that's
career
who Chris
here.
Novoselic is.
Well, I mean, no, and I'm not trying to
when
shit
you
on
and I
him.
hear about Chris Novoselic.
Yeah.
I think he's done I think number one, he was just like, oh, I'm gonna be rich and live modestly. Number 2, I think he really got into political causes of he was really into ranked choice voting in the late 90s.
Yeah.
And number 3, I think he did local music stuff.
Yeah.
So when we hear about him, it's only because he's participating in the 20th anniversary.
Right. Well, I was going to say, to be clear,
I'm
I'm not saying Chris Novoselic's a loser and Dave Grohl.
He's taller than you, Tom.
Oh boy, a lot taller, I think too. I don't want to be anywhere
He's
near
one
him.
of those tall bassists that are just
my bass.
This bass feels like a regular guitar to me.
The neck of my bass is even longer. No, I'm not saying it to disparage him at all, but Chris Novoselic is always first and foremost going to be known as the bassist of Nirvana.
Right.
And especially at this point, nothing he does is ever going to change that. But Dave Grohl is first and foremost known as the lead singer of Foo Fighters.
Right.
Before drummer of Nirvana at this point.
Well, now he's known as a philanderer, Tom.
But my question to you is, do you think that was what drove him early on of that ride ended. I'm not ready to get off the ride. I've got to make my own name for myself so that that's not what I just am forever.
You know the story, right? The viral story recently.
Oh, in Ireland? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he was driving through, Kurt Cobain had died. Mm-hmm. He was driving through Ireland. He was in this
Dave Grohl, not Kurt Cobain, to be clear.
Ooh, the ghost. And he was just because he went to a remote place of Ireland, I guess. I don't know.
I think it was he had
Dublin,
been there.
it's called.
No, he had been there once before, I think, and liked it. So he was oh, it's a good place to just get away.
Yeah, and some kid was hitchhiking, and he pulled over to pick up the kid.
No, he didn't pull over, but he saw him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. He saw him, and the kid was wearing a Kurt Cobain shirt.
Yeah.
And that's when he realized, I'm never going to outrun this.
Yeah.
I can't just hide from this. I have to keep going. And then the guy...
Yeah, they recently found the guy who... Which is a really funny story because he was I told everyone, holy shit, Dave Grohl just drove by, and everybody was yeah, fucking right. We're in the middle of nowhere, Ireland. And you're wearing a Kurt Cobain shirt. You're a huge Nirvana fan. Oh yeah, sure. He just drove by.
But yeah, so I think it was Like, I gotta get back to it.
Right.
I do like, again, the mythology of it, where it's just like, hey, we were starting from square one, just like every other band. So we just hopped into a van.
Yeah,
and
it's
played
like
these
you
little
did that
things
for like a month or two,
and you did it for aesthetic reasons, and also like you could you booked. All you had to do was call a club that you probably knew of, and was like, hey, I'm Dave Grohl and my new band, or you have your booking agent that already works for you do that for you, right? Like,
but I could see immediately following Nirvana, like kind of a lot, especially if he took time off. Like, there are people he could have called, but like kind of feeling maybe a little removed from that.
In what way?
In that was like that. The booking agent was somebody like our manager dealt with, and Kurt dealt with them. No. And I was like, I think, I agree with you that the like mythological, like we had to do it this way is stupid, but I do think it was smart to do it that way, to like keep expectations very low instead of being like, you know what, our first show is going to be the VMAs. Dave Grohl's back with his new band. Like, that would have been bad.
Yeah, but I'm saying like he was actually smart the way that he rolled it out, and like
absolutely,
it's not like we were an unproven band. Like there was still a bidding war for that first album.
Yeah, they signed to Capitol Records. It's not like,
but like they were being courted by everybody.
Yeah,
and like with his first album, he got a vanity label. He owned the masters.
Like never even put anything else out.
Yeah, he had a keyman clause. Like
he owns all his masters.
Like it's like he knew what he was doing. He wasn't just like, fuck, now I got to go get signed, and I'll just sign away. Like, because he'd been through the ringer too. Because Kurt Cobain clawed back publishing rights off of Nirvana songs. So like he went through this boot camp of like, I'm learning all the mechanisms.
He didn't know
of the
anything
music.
About mortgages, but he knew all this stuff now.
Exactly. Because you're 21 and you're like, wait, I was supposed to make $12 million and now I'm making $3 million. What happened?
Where'd everything else go?
Like, and so he knows, and like he has managers, he has trusted people. Like he's going into this, so like it's just like you watch this documentary and he's like, hey, I had nothing, so I bought a van. It's like, no.
All I had were the millions of dollars coming in every month from royalties.
And, tons of industry connections who were all dying to give me whatever I wanted.
Yeah. I had no choice but to take the rhythm section of another band and try and make a place for myself.
Break up that band and then fire one of those guys.
Yeah, because I don't think they're as good as I am.
Do you know this story too? Where I think this is in the documentary, where like Dave Grohl was like, I had a talk with him finally after like...
you're talking about William Goldsmith, the original drummer of Foo Fighters.
So on the second Foo Fighters album...
Who did not play any drum. Nobody played except for Greg Dully from the Afghan Wigs. Nobody played anything else on the first album except Dave Grohl.
Right. And then on the second album, the band came in. And then Dave Grohl, without telling the drummer, was re-recording all of the drum tracks, but the rest of the band knew.
Yeah.
And he was like avoiding him.
I think they were in LA and
he was in Seattle.
William was in Seattle,
Seattle?
Portland? Seattle or Portland, something like that.
One of those.
Yeah.
It basically like finally came to a head, and like Dave Grohl had to like, and like they met in a hotel lobby.
Yeah.
And Dave Grohl comes away, and his whole thing was like what he says is like, oh, he had a friend that like needed manual labor done, so he was gonna like he wanted to do that anyway
instead of being in one of the biggest bands in the world.
And William Goldsmith was like, no, I quoted Caddyshack or something sarcastically and said, well, I guess the world needs ditch diggers. And Dave Grohl, he's like, either...
Yeah, he got a job digging ditches. He's happy
exactly.
now.
Yeah, that's what...
Everything worked out for everyone. I'm never bad to anyone. Everybody walks away from every interaction with me
Everybody
happy.
loves me going from drummer in biggest rock band in the world to literally digging ditches.
Yeah, and he had like a very you could tell in that documentary he was still understandably like very mad about it.
Yeah.
Because Dave Grohl apparently, well, like I was talking, he's apparently known for ghosting. That things like this, it seems like he's very non-confrontational.
Yeah.
And just super shitty about where like William Goldsmith was like calling other people in the band like, hey, are you guys still like recording? How come nobody's asked me to come down?
Yeah.
And Dave was like, don't tell him anything. I'll talk to him. Don't tell him anything. Like, it's like, I get why you're still salty about like it going down the way it did.
And that's why it's a lot easier to be a nice guy when you're in his position now, because you have people that can deal with people. And we saw that when we would wait outside the Roseland Ballroom. Dave Grohl came out and he was very nice to everybody.
Yeah.
But then he had, what was that guy's name? Jimmy something, who would come out and be like, everybody get the fuck back. And like,
yeah.
And like, he had a bad cop
He'd
with
be
him at all
like,
times.
hey, come on. Don't be that mean to them.
Yeah.
And you go, I don't know. This guy just be, all right, I gotta go.
Yeah. But now, like, he's got a signal to get rid of any interaction he doesn't feel like being in.
Yeah, I was reading I forget what I was trying to look up, but it's something on the Foo Fighters subreddit, which actually I'm not a member of.
I join it. I joined it.
I join it every day. Every night I unsubscribe.
Yeah, I
every morning
unsubscribe
I
from
join.
all my subreddits before bed and resubscribe in the morning. What do you do? What are you supposed to do?
But I should subscribe. But I found I forget what I was searching again, but I found a post where somebody was like, I had a bad interaction with Dave Grohl. And I feel like it was like in fucking Iceland or something. And he was like, me and my friend were waiting outside Dave Grohl's hotel, and at like 5 a.m, a taxi pulled up, and he got out and was like trying to very quickly walk to the hotel, and he was like a ways away, and like I yelled out like, Dave, and he was ignore me or whatever, and he's like, please Dave, I just want to shake your hand. And he said Dave like stuttered for a second and was like, and like turned around and like shook his hand, was like, hi, I'm Dave. And it's like, all right, nice to meet you guys. I gotta go. And it was like, I just walked away from that experience thinking like, everybody else talks about how nice he is, and he just wasn't that nice. And the comments were amazing where people were like, were you out of your fucking mind? It's 5 o'clock in the morning. You're staked out outside his hotel, and he did come and say hi to you. Like, Jesus Christ. But I mean, it made me think about like, yeah, he must have a real, like that stutter step was him going like, fuck, what if this guy posts on Reddit 15 years from now?
Yeah, and he always talks about like walking around with Paul McCartney and like everywhere, like literally, he's like, Paul McCartney walks into the bakery and the entire staff of the bakery is like,
of course,
oh my God, I love you. You know how much you mean to me. And like,
I just wanted a scone.
And to me, that sounds like hell. That's why I don't do anything of any significance.
It would be nice to be able to like turn that ability on and off.
Yeah.
To be like, you know what? Like this place is, this restaurant's hard to get into. Let me turn this on. Or like, I don't feel like paying for lunch. Let me turn on the like most famous celebrity switch.
There's a famous Bill Murray quote.
Oh yeah.
Where he says, people, think it's really nice to be rich and famous. May I suggest just being rich?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, I guess that's what I want.
I mean, I was learning. Well, what was it? I was learning about something recently. It's probably like a fast food company because that's my interest. Like a privately held corporation Oh, it was Wawa. Wawa is still privately held, and the convenience store chain.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking,
I know.
And it's like, the grandson is the president now or whatever, and it's like, yeah, they're so fucking rich, and nobody knows any of their names. Yeah. Like that's the way to do it. It's a private company. They're not answering to shareholders or anything. Nobody knows. Maybe they're embezzling all the money.
You know what the thing is, though? There is like the guy who's running it now.
Mm-hmm.
His grandfather's still alive. Like,
yeah, it's not an ideal situation.
Who's like, this fucker's driving it all into the ground, and like he's got to go kiss the grandfather's ring and stuff, and like.
Did you take condoms out of the store like I said? Yeah, we did, Grandpa. Yeah, did you put the cigarettes back? Yeah, we did. All right, good.
Wawa, a good place.
Wawa, a good place. But yeah, being that level of famous, yeah, I mean, it's certainly got its perks, but yeah, the inability to like just fucking get a cup of coffee, that sucks. I don't envy that.
Yeah. Hey, let Dave Grohl get a cup of coffee and stop hounding him.
Yeah, and stop getting pregnant from him, for God's sake. The man's married. If you like the show, you can find out more at tcgte.com. Find all our social media links, our Discord, our subreddit. Also, check out our Patreon. Patreon.com/complete guide, where you can get books to podcasts every fucking week. I don't know why I said it that way. Like I'm mad. I meant to say every fucking week. That still sounded bad.
Yeah.
It's every week, though. It's a whole other show, a full show.
An hour,
a full hour, if not more sometimes. And you get all the back episodes. And what are we reading this week? What are you reading?
I'm reading.
He's using the royal we.
Continuing to read Player Piano by Kurt Vonnegut, his first published novel.
Yeah. You thought it was a Kurt Cobain book.
I wish.
And, but you...
You know, Tom... I've read a lot of
Kurt Cobain's books.
I read Come As You Are, The Story of Nirvana by Michael Azerrad.
Yes.
And I read Heavier Than Heaven, which was like, the unauthorized one. That came out after his death originally. Can I tell you a story about this?
Yes.
I read that book.
Heavier Than Heaven.
Heavier Than Heaven. And I was really into it, and like... You ever like be like, I got a lot left in this book, but like
I want to savor it. Burning through it.
I marathoned it on a Monday night in college, and I was like, I stayed up till like 3 a.m, and I was like, fuck, tomorrow's like my first day of classes too.
Wow.
Like, and so the book ends darkly, as you can guess.
Right.
And I close it. I go to bed. I'm woken up the next morning, September 11th, 2001.
Yeah, and you were in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a real...
And I was like, man, I went to bed feeling weird. I woke up feeling weirder.
Man, I thought the end of that book was bad. Oh, boy, look out the window.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never read either of those books, and I should. Because, I mean, it's what happened to, even if you're not a fan, like what happened to their band is very unique.
Yeah.
And is like a product of its time, like couldn't happen the same way it did then, or now as it did then.
Oh, yeah. That's why, like, the Foo Fighters are weird in that, like, they're the only current rock band.
Coldplay's out there, Tim. Maroon 5's out there rocking
Pearl
every
Jam's
night.
Still doing it.
Yeah.
And like I always think of like, well, Pearl Jam's been around for so much longer, but like
not
Pearl Jam's
really,
been around for like 3.5 years longer.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of
decades long timeline that we're working on now. Like, it's not.
But they're definitely one of the biggest touring and still putting albums out that are not. I mean, with every.
Would you say they're not nominal?
I was gonna say with each album, it becomes more like, okay, Yeah, you have to put an album out to do a tour.
Yeah.
You don't want to get to the greatest hit tours yet. But
I think they're like more substantial than like Rolling Stones Hackney Diamonds came out last year, right?
Yeah.
Like where it's just like none of the band members met to record that. It was just like
and they had like other songwriters probably come in and
I don't know if that's true.
Oh, really? Well, then I think that's fine. Like, I mean, maybe not for everyone in the band, but like, I don't know, it's still an album. It's not made the best way possible.
And like,
but
I don't think they like care about.
No, because they know it's not gonna
Jagger Richards songs, except for Rolling Stone Blues, Muddy Water song.
What about Jagger?
They're all Jagger Richards.
Oh, okay, credited.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, it makes sense. They write all the songs.
Yeah. How dare you? Oh, I thought we were going to get sued if I didn't correct you.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm glad you did. That's it.
Drums. Steve Jordan plays drums.
That's it. That's it for this week. Yeah, the Charlie Watts died.
Yeah.
So you can't play drums anymore.
Well, he played on 2 of these. Yeah.
Apparently he can. Such a good drummer, he can still play 2 songs dead.
See you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.